Welcome back to the channel, and today we got some very exciting things to share with y'all. Before we get started, I don't know if y'all happen to see this review on the Divo Knives Hellfire. This is a collaboration with Skeleton Blade Works. I guess either y'all didn't like this one or y'all didn't get the notification or whatever, because it just didn't get any traction for some reason. And I guess that usually happens whenever I get passionate about a knife. I love the design because it's different, and of how well this thing sliced, especially with this thin flat grind right there. So if you didn't see it and you want to do me a solid, go check this video out after, of course, after you watch this one. But definitely a cool, unique knife from Skeleton Blade Works and Divo Knives. We'll get started first with my passion project, my dream come true, the second prototypes of the Divo Knives Fireball. This is my design that I collaborated with Divo Knives with, and I couldn't be happier. I couldn't have asked for better partners to work with. And this is pretty much the final form. As we speak, we're talking with Kubi, the OEM, to go ahead and start with production. But this one right here is one of the variations we're going with, the blackwash blade. Kubi does a phenomenal job with their blackwash blades. They did a great job on this hollow grind, and then Colin did such a good job with that pivot. I think it really ties in with this design. And we also added the texture to the titanium backstrap right there. It's nice, it gives it some traction. And then we also added the speed holes that match my designed blade hole right there. I designed that blade hole like that just because we see so many just regular ovals and squares and stuff like that. So I just wanted it to be a little different, and that one just happens to work really well because of that diamond part right there where your finger falls into it. I find it's a perfect little resting spot. We also inset the clip into the frame. This is the previous one without the milling on the tie, and then without the speed holes right there. To Divo and myself, it just looked a little too plain, a little boring looking, so we added that texture. I think it kind of spices it up, especially with the camo carbon scales. I don't even know if you'll be able to see this, but it almost looks like they set this clip on top of the frame. It doesn't look like, yeah, it's not even setting indented in there at all. And it, as you can see, it's just a small spot, but it keeps it absolutely no wiggle. The clip works great. It's got nice spring to it. Goes in and out of the pocket nicely, and it's sitting on carbon fiber, so it's not going to tear up your pants. You know, try to think of everything. Another thing, this is the original. You can see how we have right here, and I don't even know why. I don't know if it's something we put in there, if I drew it like that, or they just did it like this, but how it's curved right here. Well, because of that curve, when you go to choke up like that, it's not as comfortable as it could be. It's not bad, but we flatten that spot out right there. So now when you choke up, it's very comfortable. So you can get right up to that edge if you want to. And if you don't, if you want to choke back, it's fine as well. My medium-sized hands, I still get a 4-finger grip on it. And then if you choke up, you should be able to fit large, extra large hands on here rather easily. Sharpening choil, we left the same. You should have some sharpening life. You can see that plunge comes all the way to the back right there. I didn't want to go any higher than that because whenever you do go higher than that, you tend to get hung up in that area because it's going to make it a little bit, rounder. But definitely something you could easily take either a Dremel or a diamond file and just go up with it. That's my reasoning behind that. We also have, this is one of my favorites, the satin and the black pearl camo carbon. It really, really pops. And their satin grinds now are stunning. And the reason why these satin grinds look so nice is because Kubi actually does these satin grinds by hand. So you're getting those nice uniform grind lines because of that. It's a little bit of an upcharge for us because of the satin grinds, but I think it's worth it because Kubi satin grind before their machine satin, in my opinion, wasn't the best looking. I couldn't stand it actually. So the first run, we decided no pre-orders. Whenever they get to us, we're gonna give you all the date, and then we're gonna make them live on the Divo Knives site. We did that for a couple of reasons. One, I was trying to keep the price down as much as I could for y'all because I wanted to be able to get it into people's hands while still having a nice quality knife with these camo carbon. And we settled with S90V steel. I love S90. It's an excellent edge holder, and I've tested a lot of Kubi's S90, and it's pretty darn good. I think it's like 60 to 61, somewhere in that area. So by bringing it direct to Divo Knives, we're able to keep the price down some, because when you go to a dealer, of course, the dealer's got their markup on it. So, you know, that plays a part of it. But then if you're wondering why sometimes you got to go to dealers, because it's expensive. It's expensive to make any of these knives. Being that this one is a little bit more intricate with the back strap like this and extra milling and stuff, it was a little bit more than some of the Divo knives that you've seen, like the mash. It's cost more to make this knife, and the pivot and stuff like that. We're doing a 50-50 partnership here. Divo Knives is paying 50% out of their company funds, and I'm paying 50% out of my pocket. I have saved up money for a while, and it was actually money that I have in savings, but to me it's worth it. This is what it's all about for me. So I dropped my savings into this, I'll be honest, and that's okay. I still want to give y'all an excellent design, something that y'all like, something y'all use, and something that y'all be proud to carry. I know some people ask, being that we're doing the DVO Fireball, if you know, you know. If you know my story, you know why I named it the Fireball. And if you don't know, it's because 6 years ago, I was blown up in a chemical plant accident. I was burned 85% of my body. That's why you see the hands. But some people, some really nice 2-year-olds in the comments say they didn't know Freddy Krueger reviewed knives. But yeah, that's what happened to me. I was blown up in a chemical plant explosion. They gave me like a 2% chance to live. And because of my awesome family and because of this community, I'm here today. And that's where the name came from. And we tried to do one of these. You probably saw it whenever we showed the first prototypes. We tried to do one with a red scale, but we couldn't, no matter what we did with it, it didn't fit. We didn't want to force it. So this go around, we decided to leave it like this. And for the name's sake, I think it's fitting that this black pearl camo carbon, I think it's called, well, that is the flames being extinguished. And that has a lot of meaning to me too, you know. So that's where we're going with that. Depending on how this first run of knives do, if it sells out and people didn't get one and they really want one, then the money from this run is going to go directly into a second run. And with that second run, we'll do different scale options. I think the second run, we might even put a micarta in there. Y'all know I love micarta. We'll just have to source some American micarta, just like we do the camo carbon. But I think the camo carbon, in my opinion, fits with this design. To me, it looks like a classy knife. I'm not even a big carbon fiber fan, but the camo carbon, in my opinion, just works. It is smooth, but you got the texture from this back strap right there, back spacer. So I definitely like to hear y'all thoughts and opinions in the comments, of course. Their actions and detents, just watch. The detent is so crisp on both of these. They're both perfectly dialed in. You get a little bit stronger of a pop from the satin just because there's no coating on it. But man, they're both very, very nice. Nice. I mean, these are brand. They have not been taken apart. They haven't been lubed or anything, and they're both breaking in nicely. I love the fact that you have a nice crisp detent, but you can still thumb flick it. You can still slow roll it because you have the longer blade hole, and you can easily reverse flick it. Once we have a better idea on when this production is going to be done, then we'll give y'all more information on when, you know, this will be going live. We don't know enough yet, and we haven't nailed the price completely yet, but it's going to be very close to it's going to be either 200 or very close to that. Like I said, trying to get it as low as we possibly can, and that's a fact. One other thing that we are going to change into just something minor into production is we're going to take a little bit, just a hair off of this right here, just to give you just a little bit better access, but we're going to take that down just ever so slightly, barely any, just to give you really good access to that lock bar. But other than that, this thing is very well dialed in. You can buy the lefty backspacer for lefties, because you see we kept it clean with no clips on this side, but it is tapped for a clip underneath there. But we are going, being that there are tapped holes underneath here, we are going to be putting a screw right here, just like this one. It's not going to be that noticeable. It's going to be black. We're going to put a screw right here because we want to, see this right here? We want it to be tight like this side. And there's a liner underneath there. So a screw right there will do that because it does the same thing on this side. So just to let you know, there's going to be a screw right here to make this as flush as possible. But definitely interested to hear y'all thoughts. I'm so excited, and like I said, I promise you, I will keep y'all updated every step of the way. When we find out new things, we get updates, I will let y'all know that. Thank y'all for y'all support. I cannot thank y'all enough. Y'all are awesome. Y'all are the reason why I keep going with this channel. Y'all help me out every single day. I love each and every one of y'all. Y'all are awesome. One more thing. There will be another option. It's going to be the 80s camo carbon. That's one of my favorites. And there's going to be this one and the blue and black. I think that's it. I think it's 3. But like I said, I'll let y'all know more whenever we get closer to that. We also have a brand new DVO Knives prototype. This is the DVO Tall Boy. I like this one a lot. I think this is the largest DVO Knives designed so far. I love this milling they have right here. Looks nice. This one's a titanium one. I'm excited about the carbon fiber one. You got a reversible milled clip, but it's in the wire clip slots. Thumb stud and blade hole. Very snappy, and look at that blade. Another deep hollow grind. Excellent utility blade shape. Great for doing drag cuts like that. Very powerful cutter with that almost straight edge. You can choke up if you needed to. It did a nice, look at that big old chunk for that lock bar right there. So it's an inset liner in here, but as you can see, it's a full thickness liner. That's really cool. And they are going to, started some testing on this. They are going to make this a little bit smaller because whenever I was doing my testing, I could kind of feel it like not disengaging, but it was loosening it. So they're going to make this a little bit, they're not going to, this is open too much. They don't want it open that much, and they're going to change that. Nice titanium backspacer there. You can reverse flick it easily, slow roll it. You can use whatever. If you want to use thumb studs, you can use thumb studs. If you want to use that blade hole, you can use a blade hole. But very snappy. This is going to be a good one. I'm going to tell you that now. So stay tuned for this one. I'm going to be doing the testing on this one, and then I'll do my full review. Let me know what y'all think about the DVO Tall Boy. I love it so far. We got some brand new quiet carry knives. Can't be more excited. First up, we have the brand new quiet carry Waypoint L. This is the large Waypoint with the knurling on the titanium. My favorite texture that quiet carry does. Nice and thin. The Waypoint, it's already a thin, easy one to carry. Now you have a larger version just to show you the size difference. The large is a lot larger, but the thickness is very similar. I mean, it's definitely a little bit thicker on this one. Got bigger thumb studs, great action. Let me give you a side by side. Here's a pivot to pivot, and just for length purposes, there's a butt to butt. So it's a much larger knife. I'm pretty sure it's the same length as the quiet carry Waypoint LC, except the LC is a much thicker knife. So yeah, they're the same exact length. But just to show you, the LC is in Magna Cut and a lot thicker. If you go all the way to the bottom, it's almost a scale on the liner thicker. But super smooth. It's riding on washers. Every one of my quiet carry knives now has gotten so smooth over time when those washers burnish themselves and the detent track wears in nicely. I have the stone wash finish. That's my preferred finish from quiet carry. You got a nice effective row of jimping there. A good sharpening choil that would be easy to extend. Liner lock. The liner lock is LC200N, and they did that because this blade is in Vanex Super Clean. If you don't know what Vanex is, it's a super high corrosion resistant steel. It holds a phenomenal edge. I love Vanex, love it. It holds an edge very well, and it's fairly tough. So I live here in the South. That is very important to me a lot of the times because we have high humidity and a lot of knives rust on me during the summer whenever I'm carrying them, but I don't have to worry about this one. One thing I do like about the large is that this choil area is a lot more comfortable on this one than the regular size because this is a lot smaller. It's not terrible for me, but if you have wider fingers, it could be uncomfortable. This one is bigger, so it fits my finger nicely. And I just like how easy it is to carry these. Here it is next to the large drift. I'll tell you what, you know a company's doing something right when you can't choose a favorite. I've had people say, which one would you choose, the Waypoint or the drift? And it is so hard to choose. They're that good, or at least I think they are. I mean, you know, if you don't like them, that's fine. There's the Quiet Carry IQ Large. The IQ is the first knife that was on the channel that I bought a long time ago. It's bigger than both the large IQ and the large drift. So definitely love this one. After I do my testing on it, carry it for a while, I'll do my full review. So we have another fixed blade. I saw this one on their channel and I thought it looked pretty sweet. This right here is the new Quiet Carry Shearwater. So it's supposed to be their interpretation of a surf and turf knife, a fillet knife, and also a meat processor. You have that trailing point like you see on a lot of fillet knives. Nice and thin stock. I think the stock thickness is like 0.8 or something like that. Super thin. You can kind of flex it. It's not super flexible, but you can kind of flex it a little bit. Look at that tip. So being that I can't really get out and fish anymore since my accident, I plan on using this one as a meat processor in the kitchen, and that's probably how I will review this one. You got their signature holes. Let me show you what it looks like next to the last one I reviewed from them, the Quiet Carry Marks. It's got the same handle as the Marks. You can get it also in the blue G10. It's got their beautiful milling on the scales. Comes with the Kydex, which I think was a good option because if you're going to be using this around the water, you're not going to want it to be in leather. And they got a nice drainage hole there. Let's see. Got the Quiet Carry logo here. Comes with the soft loops. No rattle whatsoever. Got the hidden lanyard post back there. So yeah, let me know what y'all think about this one. Like I said, I'm going to be doing my testing with this one, and then I will do the full review. We got one more knife, and this company I think has been killing it here lately, and this is the brand new Trivisa Corvis. I went with the green micarta. The button lock action on this one, it feels like a nice detent on this. Just watch this. I mean, comes out. I love that blade shape. You got a full flat grind, and this thing comes down nice and thin. Let me try to show you this. Look at that. Look by my fingers how thin it is behind that plunge. Nice and thin. Beautiful action. And I'm not going to do it right here because I got too many things on my table. I'll do it for the full review. I spine the whack the heck out of this one, and it's solid as a rock. Say more medium size, I just get a nice 4-finger grip on it. So if you have large, extra large hands, this one might be too small for you. It's in 14C 2010 steel. I love their raw stone wash. I'm guessing that is whoever the design collaboration was with. That logo right there, I've never seen that one before. And I liked it so much that I picked up the all black one as well. And this allows me to see if their actions are the same. Watch. The action on these are just so nice. The stone wash one has a little bit better pop, and I think it's just because it's not coated. But both of them are super smooth, and they both have really nice actions. You know, after the Columba, still my favorite Trivisa to date. You know, this one is super slicey, just like this one. This one's nice and smooth. It's probably still going to remain my favorite, just because I prefer the liner lock over a button lock. But their button locks are nice and strong. So I will link whatever I can down in the description. If you have any questions about anything in particular, feel free to ask me down below. I hope everybody's having an absolute amazing Sunday, and I will see y'all on the next one. Hey, Fireball!